Hello friend, this is John Kapapi here. Welcome to Mulenge Speaks Project Part 3. Today, as we were expecting, we're going to talk about the two people that we mentioned in clip 2. The Bafuliru people and the Banyarwanda people. Today we are not talking about proof that any of these two people can show to prove that Mulenge belong to them. We'll come to that, but today we're going to talk about them. Who are they and where they come from? And so today we are talking about the Bafuliru and Banyarwanda as tribe. We are not talking about them as clan, because we know that a tribe is divided in clans, and clans are divided in families, and families are divided in individuals. So each clan has a leading family that led the tribe into their present settlement and established a state or a country, or what we call kingdom, as a reigning political family. The Bafuliru are a tribe. The people speak a language called the Kifuliru. The leading clan is the clan of the Bahamba. Their land is called the Kingdom of Bafuliru, and this homeland is limited to the north by the people called Bashi, to the south by the Kingdom of the Bavira, to the east by Lake Kivu, Ruzizi River, and the Republic of Burundi, which was before the Kingdom of Burundi. To the west, we have the Balega and Babembe. So this tribe, the tribe of the Bafuliru, has more than 30 clans. Among them, the Bahinga, the Balambo, the Balizi, the Bashara Kibone, the Balabwe, the Banakatanda, the Batumba, and so on. And on the other hand, we have the Kingdom of Banyarwanda. The Kingdom of Banyarwanda is different from the Republic of Rwanda. We identify the ancient Kingdom of Central Rwanda before 1850, and it was a small kingdom at the center of Kigbahi, Mwanza, or what is called or known as the Bwanachambwe region, where Kigali is today. It was surrounded by other small independent kingdoms, such as the Kingdom of Kigongo, Musha, Busozo, Bafundu, Buyenzi, Bushiru, Buganza, Rukoma, Marangara, Nduga, Busanza, Bwanamukari, Mayaga, Kabaragi, Bunyambiriri, Bugesera, Ndora, the Kingdom of Burundi, and the Kingdom of Gisaka. And each of these small kingdoms had a king of their own. For example, the Kingdom of Rwanda was led by the Abashamo dynasty, and its capital was called Riamurari. The Kingdom of Bugoi had a king by the name of Basiguba. The Kingdom of Bushiru had a king by the name of Bagesera. The Kingdom of Bugoi had a king in the name of Basinga. And the Kingdom of Bugamba had a king by the name of Basigaba, while the Kingdom of Murera had a king who was called Basindi Basigi. These small kingdoms were not part of the Central Kingdom of Rwanda, and each of them had a population, and these populations were called by the name of their kingdom. And so the Kingdom of Rwanda, its population were called Banyarwanda. That's where we have the name Banyarwanda. We are not talking about Tutsi here, We are not talking about Hutu here or Twa, at least for now, because there is no such thing as clan or tribe Tutsi or tribe Hutu or clan Hutu. It does not exist in the history of Rwanda that we know today. The people that we know at Banyarwanda was a tribe, remained a tribe. So will be the history that we'll be studying today. So the kingdom of Rwanda was led then by the elite from the clan of Banyiginya, but the population in itself in general were called Banyarwanda. Its language was called Kinyarwanda as it is today. This tribe was still today divided in clan, and each clan had all three social groups, naming the Hutu, the Tutsi, and the Twa. So the Tutsi, the Hutu, and the Twa were no clan, were just social group, because in each clan you could find all three people there. For example, one of the clan was called Nyiginya, another clan was called Bagesera, another clan is called Abasinga, another one Barenge, another one Abega, another one Abankole, another one Abagamba. Those are clans, and in each of these clans we found those three people, those three groups, the Hutu, the Tutsi, and the Twa or Pygmies. And the interesting foundings about this clan is that a large percentage of its members were Hutu, not Tutsi. Even though the Tutsi were on the power, but the large percentage of its members in each clan were the Hutu. For example, according to Antoine Nyagahene, a professor of history, the clan of Nyiginya, to which belonged the reigning clan of the Kingdom of Rwanda, was composed of 72% of Hutu and 27% of Tutsi. Also, we must mention that as for the kingdom of the Bafuliru people, each tribal culture is structured politically, economically, culturally, and socially. So we have at one hand the list of kings who reign in the kingdom of the Bafuliru, and on the other hand we have the list of the kings who reign in the kingdom Central Rwanda. For example, if we go to the Bafuliru people, the founding father of the tribe and of the kingdom was called Kihana, and then he was followed by Kahamba Kalingishi, then Lwamwe, then Nyamugira II. But allow me to start from 1920, because I will explain later why 1920. So in 1920, the king who was reigning in the Bafuliru region, or the Bafuliru kingdom, was called Mukogabwe III. So this is the king who was relegated to the eastern province, which we used to call province Oriental, and that's where he died. He was relegated by the Belgians. And because his elder son, Muzima I, could not succeed him, his half-brother, who was called Matakambo, the brother to Mukogabwe, to Muzima I, because Mukogabwe had two sons, Muzima I, who was the elder, and Matakambo, who was the second, the youngest. So because Muzima I could not replace his father, so he had to, the ritualist had to give the power to his uncle, who was his half-brother Matakambo, to take his place until he became mature enough to control the kingdom. In French, we call him regent. So at maturity, Muzima first had children. So at maturity, his eldest son, in the name of Simba Nyamugira III Henry, replaced Matakambo, and he became the king. Then his own son, Ndare I Simba, became the king, and today we have his own son by the name of Adam Ndare II Kalingishi. He seated on the throne today in Lemera, the capital of the kingdom of the Bafuliru. Now, on the Banyarwanda side, We know that the history teaches that we have the Ruganzu first and second as the founding father of the kingdom of the Banyarwanda. But allow me to start from 1768, where we know that King Rujugira Sentabio was reigning. Then he was succeeded by King Ndambarasa. Then after him came King Gahindiro in 1779 to 1830. And Gahindiro was succeeded by Mutara Rogera 1830 to 1860. Then King Kigeli IV Rwabugiri succeeded Rugera in 1860 to 1895. Then we had King Rutalindwa, who stayed just a few months before he was killed in the revolt of Rwanchuchu in 1896. Then he was succeeded by his brother King Musinga, who was relegated to the province of Shaba in 1930 by the Belgium. Those are the kings of our two people that we are trying to explain here. So each kingdom has had its own kings or rulers and its people, and they have political structures, economic structure, and social structures. But the question will be, were these Banyarwanda king controlling any part of the western Rwanda or east of the Congo we know today as the Democratic Republic of Congo? Because we have to remember that between the kingdom of Rwanda and Lake Kivu or Ruzizi River, there was a chain of mountains, and researchers and historians call that chain the Zaire-Nile Divide. Now, people were living in that region. We have states like the Bunyambiriri state was in that region. So for people to live, or for the king of Central Rwanda to control the region of other kingdom east of, in the west part of the Lake Kivu, he had to pass through the Zaire-Nile Divide and conquer also states that were inside that region. Was it possible or was not possible? That we'll see. So the history teaches us that in 1860 to 1884, 1860 we have King Rugera, who just annexed the kingdom of Bugesera. Now he is replaced by the King Rwabugiri, and King Rwabugiri is faced with two conflicts. One is from the state of Ndorwa, which is in the northeast, and the other one is from the east, which is controlled by the kingdom of Gisaka. On the other side, in the west of kingdom of Rwanda, at the border with the Zaire-Nile Divide, we have three other kingdoms that are also protecting their own interests. And so King Rogera, with his predecessor King Gahindiro, sent armies at the border with the border of the kingdom of Rwanda to protect the influence from Bunyambiriri, Kigongo, and Bushiru from coming into or attacking them, while the kings are fighting the people, the kings of Ndorwa and Gisaka. So, at that time, until 1884, King Rwabugiri continued with his razzia or what we call the zone de control in the west, just to protect his kingdom from the attacks from the Bunyambiriri, the Congo, and the Bushiru. But its neighboring small kingdom of state of Bukunzi, Busozo, Bushiri, and Gibari were still independent and autonomous until the end of 1900. And Newbury, who is another author, an American author, concluded that in a quote here, in 1900, the state of Rwanda was not united. In other words, the kingdom of Central Rwanda in 1900 1900 was not yet united, meaning that there were still other independent states or kingdoms that were free, that were independent, that were not part of the Kingdom of Rwanda. And so when the German came in Rwanda, or discovered Rwanda, or made the Kingdom of Rwanda a colony of German in 1892, the whole Kingdom of Rwanda was not yet completed, was not yet united. Meanwhile, on the other side of the river, or on the other side of the Lake Kivu, we read or we studied a certain person, a certain man named Henry Morton Stanley. He was an explorer merchant sent by King Leopold of Belgium. So what he did, he was exploring the region. So he started from Zanzibar, which we know today is part of Tanzania, the United Republic of Tanzania. He crossed Lake Tanganyika. He arrived in the Ubembe region, which is Fizi today, and walked or traveled to northward, passing through the Babembe, through the Bavira, through the Bafuliru to the north, arrived in Kisangani, where they left his name. His name is called, that region was called Stanleyville. Then entered into the River Congo to the Boma or Matadi. And then that region is what constituted what we know today as Congo Free State, l'État indépendant du Congo. So, what we know from, for example, from an African Security Review, Volume 8, Number 5, published in 1999, it is said that, I quote, the King of Belgium created much of this Congo Free State through treaties entered into on his behalf by the explorer merchant Henry Morton Stanley, who had signed these treaties with indigenous leaders in the region. So we know from history that what we know today as Congo or Democratic Republic Congo was created by this man Stanley, Henry Morton Stanley. He signed some treaties with local leaders who were the kings of those kingdoms, different kingdoms. From the west, we know the Kingdom of Congo, Kingdom of Luba. In the east, we know the Kingdom of Bashi, the Kingdom of Lega, Bembe, Bafuliru, Bavira, Banyindu. Those treaties or those kingdoms are what constituted what is called today, or what we knew then as Congo Free State, or l'État indépendant du Congo. And that was between 1777 and 1884. Now, in 1885, we experienced the creation of the Congo Free State with the blessing of the United States and other Western countries at what we know or we knew then as the Conference de Berlin in 1885. So we cannot, from this development, we cannot say that the people we know today as Banyarwanda were already united in 1900. And we don't know, as the history will show or has shown, that there was no king in the Kingdom of Rwanda who had conquered any place in western part of in the west of the Lake Kivu, naming here the Bafuliru, the Bavira, or the Bashi, or even in the north, the Bahunde. There was no state that was under the control of King Rugera or King Rwabugiri or King Musinga, who replaced him. And so what I'll do today is to stop here after I give you this introduction about these two people. Who are they? What we know today as Banyarwanda, we know them as a tribe. What we know today as Tutsi are just a social group. Tutsi is not a clan. Tutsi is not a tribe. It's a social group, because The tribe is Banyarwanda. Among the Banyarwanda, we have the Tutsi, the Hutu, and the Twa. And all belong to one or another clan. And I gave you the name of some clan that we can find today in Rwanda. So to finish, I'll stop here for today, and I hope that you buy the book that I showed you last time. Buy the book so you can complement to what I just said here, and from there next week we'll try to go through their immigration. How did the Banyarwanda found themselves in Western Rwanda or in Eastern DRC? How did they cross the Zaire divide, Nile divide? How did they cross the Ruzizi River into the land of the Bavira or the Babembe or the Bafuliru or the Bashi? And when was that? Who was the king at that time? And how did they settle? Did they ever conquer any of this kingdom west of the Lake Kivu or Ruzizi River or not? So my friend, watch out for Mulenge Speaks Part 4, and I hope that we'll have more to talk about, including the German who entered in Rwanda in 1892, including the Belgium who entered in the Kingdom of Rwanda in 1916, and how they helped other kingdoms to become part of the Kingdom of Rwanda. So for now, ciao, good night, and hope to see you next time.